Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pochilu Femwapin, and we are indeed back again on the What Are You Doing About It campaign. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we've indeed been joined by the public lawyer, right? So, maybe to just give him a brief introduction of as to what exactly the What Are You Doing About It campaign is all about. So, sir, the What Are You Doing About It campaign is basically us having to ask ourselves as young people, asking ourselves to say, what is it that we are doing about it when it comes to the challenges that we are facing, right? There are goals that we've set. A smooth road is not guaranteed. You find to say in your way to your goal, you find to say you are going to meet hurdles along the way. For you to reach your goal, you're going to meet challenges. But instead of you having to complain, you have to be a solution. So that's where the notion of what are you doing about it is indeed coming from. So indeed, as I say, to say we're indeed joined by the public lawyer. So you can just tell us your real name and just give us maybe a brief introduction of who the public lawyer is.
So basically, the public lawyer is a second semester law student at the National Institute of Public Administration, NIPA. It's a very wonderful question. What am I doing about it? So just like many Zambians from a humble backgrounds, I'm trying to stand out. So the question is, what is who the public lawyer is? Public lawyer is when you go in the village, you find a young boy looking all dirty, crying for the mother. That's who the public lawyer is. The man that you see today, the man that I am growing into, is that small boy. Everything that you're saying is all by the grace of God. You're always putting God first. What am I doing in this life? Basically, I'm also an entrepreneur. So a public lawyer is not just a lawyer in profession. No, I'm also an entrepreneur. What do? By the way, I give out loans. I'm a licensed money lender. Yeah. I give out loans. I run a stationery, and I must also add to that, I'm also a farmer. So as we are speaking right now, things are happening in the background. So that's who the public lawyer is. There will come a time in life when my profession will come out and we start doing things that public lawyers do. But for now, we are building the foundation.
All right. So that is indeed a very good introduction. My question to you would be, you're not from within Lusaka.
Yes.
You're from Solwezi, right?
Yes.
What exactly do you like about Solwezi?
What I like about Solwezi? So to start with, I was born in Solwezi. I was partly raised in Solwezi and I was raised in Maseka. Solwezi is my hometown. I love Solwezi. Solwezi is a small town, full of money. I mean good money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solwezi has got all of that. And then you understand that Solwezi has less activity. There's small development in Solwezi. So such an environment is one where there are a lot of good business opportunities that one can establish in Solwezi. I love Solwezi all because I was raised there, and for the money, of course. There's good money in Solwezi.
So, you've built a brand when it comes to you having to call yourself the public lawyer, right? There are certain services that you're offering, such as assignment writing, you are offering tutoring. So when did you start seeing yourself to be a public lawyer? Was it in first year? Was it the first day that you entered into the law class? Or maybe it was after what exactly made you to start calling yourself the public lawyer?
Basically, why I started calling myself the public lawyer? I'll start with that question. It's the passion that I have for the people. It's the passion that I have for the public. I want one day to serve as a public lawyer, not because of my own personal interest, but because of the public. I come from the public. The man that you're seeing today was raised by a community. I want to give back to my community that which it has given me. Like when I started seeing myself as a public lawyer, I saw myself as a public lawyer the first day I stepped my foot at NIPA. The first day I entered the gates of NIPA, I saw myself as a public lawyer. Though I saw myself, I didn't believe in myself. Colleagues of mine believed in me. How I started writing assignments totally It was through my colleagues, not myself. I never saw myself doing that. And I must also say this, that I'm not the brightest student, and I'm not even the most smartest kid in school. But God works things. I have the potential, yes, but all I can say is that we put God first. Yeah, put God first.
All right. So, for as much as I've known you, you need someone who is really committed when it comes to church, right? I know to say you're the coordinator of something, isn't it?
Yes.
So, when it comes to an aspect of coupling school as well as spirit, let me just phrase it in this way: when it comes to an aspect of having to grow intellectually as well as also grow spiritually, what is your advice to fellow students?
So my advice is that this is why we mostly miss it. As I earlier alluded, I'm an entrepreneur. I do a lot of activities that keep me going in life. So the Bible says that there's time for everything. There's time to pray, there's time to study, there's time to be born, and there's time to die. One thing that you ought to understand is that you need to know what time it is. We don't want to be those Christians, broke Christians. I must say I come from Bread of Life. Bread of Life, this is where people are doing well. Yeah, I must say that. So we are being brought up in a manner that you need to understand what season you are in that what time you are. For example, if it's time to attend classes, go attend classes. If it's time to go pray. If it's time for fellowship, go fellowship. It all goes back to priorities. What are your priorities? It is time to pray, go pray. Not time to pray, you want to go drink. No, go pray. If it's time to study, go study. We ought to be, let me use the word, we ought to be very careful and mindful with how we spend our time. I'll never criticize a Christian in my life, and I'll never criticize any businessman. I must also bring forth that, even the people that we condemn so much to be Satanists, those people are sharp people, they are smart people, they know at what time to do things. I must also allude that when you were young, we used to watch those Nigerian movies. You would find it that as you're watching those movies, a Satanist would wake up at 03 to pray to their shrines. They understand that it is that time to do this. And everything that we have in this life, we have to put it in a certain area where at this particular time I'm supposed to do this.
All right. So, sir, as we are concluding, I'm indeed going to ask my able sir, who is indeed doing the capturing, to indeed just come closer and just put you just in the middle. I want us to carry a very brief exercise. So, sir, let the camera just be on him. So, I want you to look in the camera, all right? And I want you to talk to that young boy, young girl in Solwezi, all right? You've indeed come here to Lusaka. You've experienced life. I want you to talk to that young boy or young girl in Solwezi and tell them to say, here is a piece of advice that I wish I would have known when I was in Solwezi. Here's a piece of advice that I'm indeed giving to you.
So, wherever you're watching this from, let me start by that. Whenever you're watching this from, always know that God, under the sun, in heaven the here, on earth the here, God works out. God is the lifter of all men. Regardless of your background, regardless of where you're coming from, regardless of where your parents are and what they're doing, God is the lifter of all men. Even as much as God is the lifter of all men, don't forget to put in the hard work. You are in school, stay focused in school. You are a businessman, stay focused with business. And always remember that God always works out for you. I believe this is something that I wanted someone. I would have loved someone would have told me this. Because when I was in grade 11, I lost my way. But
anyway, my good leader here has a very long story for us. We just indeed make a podcast for an hour,
Sure.
So, sir, we just want to say thank you. All right. Want you continue the great works. You've been doing very great works. If no one has told you, let me tell you. You have been indeed doing great works. So continue with the spirit, and thank you very much for coming through to this show.
No, much obliged, much obliged.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is indeed the What Are You Doing About It campaign. Stay glued. There is more coming your way. I thank you.